Hello everyone, it's Della DuLac. Today I'm going to share with you some of the cards that I made with this Frames and Flower DSP with all of the die cuts that you come in with this. It's kind of a kit. So fun. You can do all of these that are in the catalog. I've used this stamp set as well, the Poised Peony. So this is the paper. Lots of fun little frames and little die cut flowers that you get so much with this kit. I have made a lot of cards with this. You can just punch all of these out. Of course, they're wanting to catch right now. They don't slide apart very easily because they're catching on each other. Let's try to get these, and they're coming out. That's okay. And then you also get a few sheets of pretty paper to go along with that. It is double-sided. Get all of these to use. So I've cut all of these apart into different mats and backgrounds. So let's kind of scooch all these guys up here, and then I will get my cards out. I'm going to show you what I've done. Here's two hefty little stacks here that I've used to make all of these cards. I've also used a few of these they are in the holiday catalog. These are Greetings for All Mix and Match ephemera pack. These actually made it into the new catalog, so you still have time to get those. That's great. They're great to have on hand. You get a lot of greetings in here, and they just pop out. You get several different fonts for all of the holidays and thinking of yous and birthdays, and you have some in the black. Great pack to pick up. And let's get into the cards here. I'll do one stack at a time. Okay, so we've got a few here, and I've also used the embossing folder, the eyelet embossing folder. Very cute. I really like the little flowers it creates. Okay, so I've used that with here on a little banner, some ribbon, super simple, just with a greeting and some of the paper, little strip of the paper on the inside. So here I've used the stamp set. That flower is such a light pink, it doesn't show up that well, but I used markers on the stamp and then stamped it. Same with this one, and then colored it in. So we're just going to kind of go through this stack fairly quickly because most of these are just using up the rest of the paper and some stamped images. This one actually right here, so when you punch out your frames, you have these kind of leftover pieces that come out of the middle. So this one over here, I used a die to cut that out, so I'm using all of these negative spaces too. Just a little tip for that. Some more. And then here we've used a few of those little die cut pieces, some of the extra little strips. I've used up all of my paper. And this one, you just cut them and flip it over the other way so you can see the other side of the card or the paper. Just adding a little bit here with the stamp and the little die cuts that come in here. Here I've used one of those, thinking of one of the little greetings from that kit. This one I've just stamped my own on a little banner. Use some of these fun little leaves from the punch. Again, in this I'm just using up all of my paper, and they make all these little strips that you have left over make really great. You can use on your cards just to add a little bit of color and stamping on the inside. Here's one of the black greetings from that little pack of greetings. So here we go. Here's a few more of the little frames. And you just match them up together. Sometimes I will have white cardstock on the inside like this one. If it's a light colored card, I don't always put a white one in there. And this one I just stamped across here because this was blank, so you can stamp whatever greeting you want. Very cute. Again, some of the little flowers, just adding a little tag. So they can be as simple. This one is from this one right here, so I matted that up with some pink paper. Super simple. You get a lot of cards out of this whole pack. And just sit and play, mixed and matched. I just added a couple of these together on some white. So this one here was actually a broken piece. It wasn't a full circle, so that's where I decided to put the greeting. Let's see if I can find that one, just because I'm looking for it. So here's a similar one. So it wasn't a full circle. This one wasn't a full oval. So that's where I put the, let's see, I think this one I used somewhere over here. Nope, not that one. Not that one. We'll find it. So, and here's some more. This one is this one up here. I just popped that out. Put it on a mat. Matted it. Something in the middle again with that greeting from this punched out stamp. Greetings. Lots of great cards. I mean, the sky is the limit with this. You know, it's fun to sit and play and, you know, see what else you have in your stash of little things. I just added, so all of these here came in the kit, and then this, I added a couple of those from the little bow punch. This was just a little strip that was from here, so this one I added to the card, and this was a little strip that was left over. I figured I could just add that on there too, just kind of frame that up a little bit on the on that embossed piece of paper. Very fun. It was a lot of fun to play with this kit, and there's so many great options that you can. Again, here's that other strip again, the other half of that strip. Again, just cutting my paper at an angle and flipping them over. I actually put two pieces together, flipped them upside down so I could cut them, and then, because if you cut it at an angle and flip it over, of course it won't be the right direction. So just play with those. Lots of fun ideas. A few of these look a little similar because I've stamped a couple of those and then did different backgrounds with those. Some can be as simple as just putting a wreath there with a little greeting and a couple of little flowers. Super simple. You can get pretty elaborate in adding. So here's this one here. And then added a few little sprigs and a flower just to kind of complete my, not necessarily a circle, but very cute. And then again, just adding some of those little strips on the inside just to use those all up. A lot of great cards with this kit. I hope you pick one of those up for yourself and have fun playing with that. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and click that bell button so you don't miss a video. You can see any of these products on my website and definitely place an order. Have a great day.